Starting today, drivers caught on camera in bus lanes throughout New York City will soon be getting tickets in the mail. The MTA installed new traffic cameras on some public buses to help with enforcement and gave people several weeks to adjust to these new rules. Right now, MTA officials are on Manhattan's east side with the latest on this new program. Let's take a listen in.
Bus reliability. Our weight assessment, a metric of our bus reliability, is the highest it's been since the last 15 months. And we're really excited to say that today we'll be enforcing and we'll be sending out, starting today, we'll be sending out violations for all bus blockers on the M15 1st and 2nd Avenue. So we want to build on this. We want to let motorists know to stay out of our bus lanes. On the first violation, motorists will be receiving $50. There's a graduating fine structure for each successive violation up to $250 in any 12-month period. Since October 7th, we've seen approximately 15,000 incidences of bus blockers. And we're really excited about, now that we're issuing violations, for that to go down and for our buses to move that much faster. But this program is not about collecting violations as much as about improving bus speeds, improving bus service, and bringing customers back to the bus system. Here today, we're rolling out a marketing campaign. The marketing campaign will be on every bus, initially on the bus lane enforced camera routes, which includes the M15, the M14, and the B44. Eventually, we're excited to roll this out throughout the city, both the bus lane enforcement cameras as well as the marketing campaign. Because again, we want motorists to know, stay out of our bus lanes. Let's move these buses along, and let's make bus the option for folks that want to get around town. So we're looking ahead, we're real excited. We think 2020 is a real turning point. Me and my bus team are putting in a lot of effort to improving bus service. We think that with initiatives such as bus lane enforcement cameras, working closely with the NYPD and MTA Police Department, DOT. The next capital program has $85 million dedicated for this bus lane enforcement camera system. And recently, the city has come out and made a dedicated effort for 150 new bus lane miles, along with thousands of transit signal priority intersections. And we're really excited about what the future brings. So let me wrap this up by saying, bus lane, if you're not a bus, stay out of the bus lane. And with that, I want to introduce, my partner over here, a good friend, a good advocate, and a close friend to every single bus customer in New York City, Nick Cifuentes. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. I'm glad to be here today. I'm Nick Cifuentes. I'm the Executive Director of Tri-State Transportation Campaign, a 26-year-old organization dedicated to improving transit and transportation in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. I'm also here representing Bus Turnaround, a coalition involving us, the Riders Alliance, the Strap Hangers Campaign, and Transit Center that have been fighting for improvements just like this one for bus service over the last several years. And at TSTC, we fought hard to make sure that this program got the authorization it needed in Albany to be up and running. And the reason for that is simple, and it's twofold. First of all, it's been illegal to drive in bus lanes and to park in bus lanes, period. And now it's time that we actually start enforcing the law. The second thing is, our streets are clogged with gridlock every single day, and we know that it's gotten worse and worse and worse. We need to find solutions, and we need to find solutions that work for all New Yorkers, especially the 9 million people who are using our transit system every single day. And one of the best things we can do at our street level is make sure that we give buses priority on our street. We've got 2 million people using the bus every single day. It's time to make sure they can get where they need to go every time on time. And so we know bus lanes work best when other vehicles just follow the law and don't illegally park in bus lanes and don't illegally drive in bus lanes. So today, we know this is a moment where we can say we're starting to get our bus lanes working again. We look forward to seeing the MTA rolling this out, not just on the bus lanes where it's active already, but citywide. Everybody who rides a bus deserves the opportunity to have a bus that works for them. Everybody deserves the chance to have buses that are 30 to 40% faster than what we have been seeing over the last several years. This is a huge step in the right direction, and we're glad to see this today. And we think this has to be part of a larger approach to making our cities work. So things like getting our bus speeds up and running, this takes place not just through camera enforcement, but also through the development of more bus lanes citywide and more busways like what we're seeing on 14th Street. The success of 14th Street should be a model for other places around the city, and we're glad to see the MTA and the city working closely together to improve bus speeds and transportation for everybody. Thank you very much.
Sure. It's a question for Nick?
Un poco. Oh boy, I'm not sure I could do a whole Spanish section for the cameras. Can we chat afterwards? Great, okay.
Okay, with that, I'll take any questions on topic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm curious about the middle sign on the pole, the commercial vehicles. Will they be allowed to park during these 4 hours as they are now?
Yeah, the bus lane regulations will be in effect as they are today. Nothing will change in that regards. So no violations, no warnings have been issued when bus lanes are not in effect. So currently it's in the morning 6 to 10, and then I believe 2 to 7 in the afternoon.
Hey, Craig, do you have numbers for how many drivers have been flagged on 1st and 2nd Avenue since we started?
Yeah, so we've identified approximately 15,000 bus lane blockers since October 7th.
And that's on all 3 routes or just here on the M15?
Those are the numbers for the M15 and the B44.
Okay, got it.
When it was first introduced, the bus line, when it started?
I'm sorry, this started October 7th.
October
The 60-day grace period ended today, December 6th, and such will be issuing violations.
You had 15,000 violations on just 2 lines? That was it?
Yeah, that was right. Those were identified bus blockers, whether it be a car stopped, a van stopped. Yes, on those 2 lines.
And is it violations going to be what, $50?
So the violation starts, first offense is 50, second offense is 100. It's a graduated fine structure up to $250 in any 12-month period for the same license plate.
It's going to be a huge amount of money. I mean, if you're talking $50 a whack, 15,000 on just 2 lanes or 2 bus routes, what's the projection? Any idea for an annual?
So, quite frankly, from my perspective, it's not about money. It's about moving my buses faster, and I'm hopeful that between the violations going into effect and our marketing campaign, which is key, that motorists will start to understand, stay out of the bus lanes, and we move our buses.
Can you split the 2 lines up? How many violations on the 1st Avenue and the 14th?
I can get you that data.
So can you elaborate on what routes are going to get these cameras next? I mean, you have the money in the capital plan. Obviously, the capital plan has to be approved, but do you have an idea of what routes you want to bring these cameras to?
So we do have a plan that we're currently in the process of working with DOT, because it's a collaborative effort between the two agencies. We're looking in 2020 to begin rolling this out, and we'll rapidly roll this out as we move ahead. What I would tell you is we're looking to put these cameras on all 5 boroughs throughout the city. And again, we'll focus on where we get the biggest bang for our buck. In other words, where we're getting many trips, many routes on existing bus lanes throughout the city.
And automated enforcement, I mean, that was primarily the DOT's role before you started rolling out the bus-mounted cameras, right? So what has that meant from an operational standpoint in terms of staffing and making sure you have staff there to process all these summonses that come through?
Sure. So this is a collaborative effort, as I mentioned, between MTA and DOT. The way it works is we send our information over to New York City DOT. They take a look at it. They have a whole back office staff that looks at that sends it to the Department of Finance. From the MTA's perspective, we have a MOU with DOT, and they're doing that type of work.
These are going to be metal? These are going to be metal signs?
No, these will be similar to our advertising signs on the back of buses.
Oh, I see.
Anybody else? Okay? Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
And we've been watching a press conference held by MTA officials about the agency's new bus lane program. Starting today, drivers caught on camera in the M15 bus lanes on the east side will receive a $50 fine for blocking a lane. There are 51 buses on the M15 select bus service route that are equipped with these automated bus lane enforcement known as ABLE camera systems. So drivers caught in the bus lanes more than once will receive progressively higher fines. The MTA says they could have to pay up to $250. So far, they have identified 15,000 bus lane blockers. That's just since October 7th. So this grace period has now ended, and today those fines begin. For more details on these affected routes, you can always head to our website, cbsnewyork.com.